After his PhD, he worked as a sort of a fellow at IISc Bangalore from 2013 to 2015. He had around 12 publications in reputed journals with impact factor ranging from 1 to 4. He has 3 Indian patents and presented so many papers in national and international seminars and conferences. His PhD work was mainly focused on conducting polymer-based composites for applications in supercapacitor, EMI shielding, etc., etc. Now he is focused his research on areas like synthesis of porous carbon from organic waste and preparation of hierarchical porous carbon hybrid composite structures, and also synthesis of lightweight radar absorbing materials, carbon based composite materials with tunable conductivity. And now at present he is working as a research faculty in Vellore Institute of Technology, one of the best deemed to be university in India. With these few words, I invite Dr. Preetham to start his lecture, and I thank you all for this. I am welcoming all of you, please. Please, Dr. Bharadwaj.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for your introduction, sir, for my. So, a very good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Preetham Bharadwaj. Already, sir, a brief introduce myself. So today, my topic of talk is role of electron microscopy in nanotechnology. What is the role of electron microscope in the area of nanotechnology and beyond this? So I'm starting my presentation. So basically, nanoscale, nanotechnology, basically a subject in which we will study the molecular structure, or we can say matter on the nanoscale, structure of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. We have already know. So whenever we study on the nanoscale the behavior and the properties of the matter or objects, we call it nanotechnology. Basically 10 to the power minus 9 meter nanoscale. So how we will study this matter on nanoscale? So there is we have two instruments. The instrument is showing in my PPT the view of image of the instrument. First is the scanning electron microscope, and second is transmission electron microscope. So this is the basic principle how a simple microscope, we can say compound microscope, work, and how we will able to a refraction pattern is there, and how the image will come to our eye. Now next I will to introduce how this word come from. The microscope, basically Greek words, micron, basically small in size, and the scopus basically means look into it, or you can say aim. So whenever we see this matter in the size of microns, we can say we are using microscopy. We are using a microscope. So what is a microscope? Basically an instrument for viewing objects that are too small to be seen by, that will be not able to seen by the naked eye or unaided by human eye. And the microscopy is basically subject of a science of investigating small objects using such an instrument. We can call it microscopy. Basically historic background is there. Hans Jensen in 1590 and his son Zacharias Jensen developed first microscope. In 1609, Galileo introduced a compound microscope for the studies the matter on the micron size. And in 1620, Christian Huygens, another Dutch scientist, developed a simple two-lens ocular system that was chromatically corrected. Basically, optical light source we have used here for the determination or the structure of a matter. And the next in 1961, a biologist compound microscope discovered, Anton van Leeuwenhoek in 1961, that goes a credit for the starting of the bringing the light microscope and compound microscope in the attention of the biologist. How this is the principle how the electron interact with the matter on the surface, basically morphology studies, scanning electron microscopy, scattered electrons are recollected. First electron beam is imported on the sample, we can say matter, or we can say our surface of our sample, and that will be back scattered, and that will be recollected by the electromagnetic lens, and we get a view, a surface view of our sample, you can say our. And these are the terms basically used in microscopy, through which we calculate the size, we can say morphology.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Could you make the PPT bigger in full view?
Yeah, this is full view. I in slide show. I'm
Okay,
showing
okay.
slide show.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
It
Thank
is
you.
showing your my PPT is clear, sir, visible.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. Sir.
Okay,
Great. Okay, thank you.
okay. So these are the four terms basically: magnification, resolution, and limit of the resolution, that define the an instrument. How we use the magnification, basically how much we magnify. Here in electron microscopy, we are using electron beam for the studies of the surface of our matter. So degree of enlargement, we can say number of times the length and the breadth of diameter we can scan an object surface object. Then the resolution, when the scattered electrons come back to the lens. So the ability to reveal closely adjacent details as separate and distinct. And the limit of resolution, minimum distance between two visible bodies, that is, they can be seen as separate and not in contact with each other. There is a calculation part is there, 0.61 lambda upon numerical aperture. This is a calculation of the limit of resolution, how much we can resolve the image of our matter, or we can say our material. Same numerical aperture calculation, the ratio of diameter of lens to its focal n sin theta by 2, the n is the refractive index, and the angle of the aperture that will be made whenever it will contact with, when the electron beam contact with the surface, the angle of aperture is there. And these are some types of microscope. Here we are discussing the simple microscope, compound microscope, phase contrast microscope, dark brown fluorescent microscope. The different microscopes that are used different source of beam, the collection of the data, you can say collection of the surface, the studies of the surface of our matter. And the last one is the electron microscope, that are commonly, or you can say extensively used by the researcher scientists for the studies in the nanoscale. The general comparison of all the three basically used microscope in the research work. Compound microscope, basically the resolution power is 200 nanometers. Scanning electron microscope we have used, that is used 10 nanometers resolution power. We can see the images of 10 nanometers. And the transmission electron microscope has a resolution power of 0.2 nanometers. So there are basically four basic factors that we have collect by the using of electron microscopy. Basically, electron microscopes uses a beam of highly energetic, that is electrons, to examine objects on a very fine scale. This examination brings the details about the observant. The following are the observations we have calculated: the topography of our sample, and the morphology, the shape and the size and the structure of our sample, the composition, our material, our sample, alloy, compound, which the mixture, the compose of our material, which is composed of either two or more elements. We can also identify the composition of our material. And the crystallographic structure, we also found the crystal behavior. We also find the diffraction pattern of our material from. These are the two different, the images are there. Scanning electron microscope and tridimensional electron microscope. Already also scanning electron microscope, same 10 nanometer have the resolution power. We have, and the from the 10 we can we can found the diameter of the nanoparticles. In the 0.2 nanometer scale, we have a resolution power. Basically, same scanning electron microscope. What will it? What is the principle and what will it has done? The same basically focus on the sample surface and its composition, And we can also, if the specimen is not conducting in the nature, we can gold plating we can do on our specimen surface, and we can found also a 3D view of the surface of an object, which is basically seen as a black and white image. And we can use this study surface feature of materials, cells, and also we can say in the biological virus. SAM has a resolution 1000 times better than the light microscope. It has more resolution, 1000 times more resolution as we compare to the light microscope, optical microscope, you can say. This is an image, JS company. This is a this is the basic structure of scanning electron microscope. What is, so there is a sample holder where we have put our sample. There is an electron gun on the top of the you can say SAM. Then that will be, bombarded the electron beam on the surface of our material. There are one is two pair of electromagnetic lens are there. You can see one is objective lens, one is projection lens, and that there is a specimen we are seeing that, and that there is one of our electron detector is there, condenser lens is there, source of illumination in the top of the SAM, and one is a projection lens here that will recollect the scattered electrons, and that will be recollect by our computer scanner, we can say, and we get a image of our specimen. This is a micron range SAM image, you can say, of a bacteria. This is the SAM image of a housefly. It is clearly you are seeing that all the parts, body parts, we are clearly seeing. This is the SAM image of a bacteria on the surface of a human tongue. We are clearly showing the shape, the size, and the structure of the bacteria. The 10 nanometer, we have already known that resolution power. So shape, the size, and the structure. One more, there is a SAM image of platinum wire with have a diameter of 50 nanometer that can be used for a gas sensing application. We have commonly used this. So up to 50 nanometer, the diameter we have predicted from the SAM image. Now this is the SAM image of human eye, showing all the pupil of our eye. As we can also calculate the diameter of our this human eye. The next, the same image of ant, you can say clearly. All the body parts we are clearly showing. The two head here you are showing. So basically, stream of electrons are formed by the electron source that will be accelerated using a positive electric potential, and that will be focused by a metallic aperture, or we can say we are using two sets of electromagnetic lens. One is objective lens and one is projection lens that will recollect the scattered electrons from the surface of the material, and we get a image of our sample. Interaction occur whenever the electron beam strike to the surface of the material, that radiation, or we can say that scattered electrons are detected and that transform and converted into an image. Basically, SAM allows for higher magnification, the better resolution as we compare to the optical microscopy. The sample, I already told that electrons are bombarded onto the, here we have a source of electron that will use for the scanning, that will scan the surface of our, you can say, aperture of our material, and that we can found a smaller area that is much greater than a light microscope, we can predict. This is a time microscopy, the simple image of time microscope commonly used for we can predict the diameter of nanoparticles that we have synthesized. We can calculate particle size, particle shape, we can predict from this. This is a diffraction pattern using the transmission. Basically, In SAM and TEM, basically the transmitted electrons are responsible for the data that will be collected. In the SAM, the scanning, you can say, we simple scan the surface of our material. The backscattered electrons are responsible for the data that we have got image. Same, this is the top view of internal of transmission electron microscopy. The same electron gun is available, the source of electron on the top of. There is a tungsten filament commonly used for electron source. Then electron beam, the same, both objective aperture lens is there, one is condenser lens is there, and the projector lens is there. The 3 set of lenses there, and there is a sample holder is near in between. That will be in the middle of, you will see, and the condenser lens projects the beam of the electron, transmitted electrons on the surface of our sample, and we collect the, you can say, the same, the size and the particle size we can calculate, and we also calculate particle shape. We also calculate the composition of our material. If we can, this is the simplest, you can say, time image of a transistor source gate drain made up of silicon. You can say, clearly showing the 3 terminals of our transistor on the 20 nanometer scale, and also showing the same different crystallographic information also we are getting from this image. The same high resolution or time image of NMOS transistor here. What is the composition and the what are the composition of NMOS is clearly showing the internal. So basically SAM and the comparison of SAM and TEM here, I already told you that SAM is basically use scattered electrons for the data collection, and the TEM is use transmitted electrons. In the SAM there are 2 pair of lenses, in the TEM there are 3 pair of electromagnetic lenses for higher resolution. SAM focus on the sample surface and its composition, whereas from the TEM we can get the information of internal composition also. We can also get crystallographic structure information also. We can also get composition of our material compound. So therefore TEM is more useful. TEM is more can have many characteristics of a sample calculate, such as morphology, crystallization, even magnetic domains we also calculate. On the other hand, SAM, scanning electron microscope, only focus on the morphology, size and the structure of the sample. The sample in TEM has to be cut in the thinner, whereas there is no such need with the SAM sample. Basically in the scanning electron microscope we have a double-sided tape, carbon tape we have used. We have a powder sample. For my sample I am telling you whatever we did. We have in the powder form conducting polymer based some composite samples I have prepared, and there is a double-sided tape carbon tape we have. We have fixed our sample on the SAM holder that will fix on the sample holder, and the same that will be put. We have included this as we comparison to some noise is there, some external noise is there.
Yeah, please sir, we can rectify it.
Okay. So transmission electron microscope has much higher resolution, more than you can say SAM, up to you can say 2000 times we can calculate, and the SAM allows a large amount of sample to be analyzed at time. But in the TEM we have only a small amount, you can say microgram, we have a sample to be analyzed in a single time. Same thing, the SAM is used for the thin film surfaces, powders, polished surfaces. Each is the microstructure surface, you can say integrated circuit chips we can use characterized by scanning electron microscope. We can found their chemical segregation, whereas TEM is used for imaging of dislocations, tiny precipitates, grain boundaries and other defect structures in the solid. In TEM pictures are shown on fluorescent screens, whereas in SAM picture is shown on the computer monitor. SEM also provides a 3-dimensional image while TEM provides a 2-dimensional picture. TEM requires extensively sample preparation. The thickness of the specimen to be examined under TEM should be less than 100 nanometer. For the TEM, we have a sample beads. In the sample beads, we have put our sample, the solid form, you get powder form, and on the top of sample holder, we fix it in a way, and then we will get the information. Here I am showing we have prepared our sample, a carbon fiber based sample. I'm showing the two instruments. We are working on several applications on the nano. We are preparing nanoscale composites. We have This is a conducting polymer based composite. Basically, we use oxidative polymerization, oxidative simple chemical polymerization method. We have prepared conducting polymers. Here there are two instruments. One is for anti-static studies. We have done JCI, Jones Webb instrument. We have used a high corona voltage, the surface of our sample, composition sample we have given, and on the 10% of 500 volt, we have calculated the charge decay time within seconds. How much time it will take to destroy the static charge that will be harmful for the electronic instruments. The same in the next, in the behind, sorry, below, there is a VNA instrument that is used for radar absorbing studies. Already you have here all stealth technology. We have prepared samples for radar absorptions for the defense research point of view. Stealth technology is nowadays for extensively research. EMI shielding, one more you can say, electromagnetic interference shielding. Basically, EMI, electromagnetic interference, basically a noise signal that interrupt the performance of an electron device. Basically, this problem is major issue whenever we travel in an aeroplane. We have an instruction from pilot side that please switch off your laptop's mobile phone that emit a noise signal that will disrupt the pilot communication with the radar of the airport signal. So we are preparing samples for this. This is the XRD, and then this is the SEM images. I want to show you that we have used. So this is the magnification. It is clearly 800 times magnification we have used. That is clearly on the carbon fiber composites we have prepared. We have done a coating of graphene and the polythiophene. We have used here polythiophene conducting polymer as a matrix material, and there is a carbon fiber that is showing without coating, bare carbon fiber we have used. It is clearly showing the hollow cylindrical tubular structure. By the same image, we are predicting that hollow cylindrical tubular structure are there. That is confirm the composition of the carbon fiber. Next, second, carbon fiber with polythiophene, coating of conducting polymer, polythiophene. The diameter of the hollow cylindrical tubular structures is increased. We have calculated, there is one more software we can use. We can directly calculate the diameter and the size of our sample with the software available in the instrument SEM. But we have also one software also, ImageJ, that from where we can directly that will useful for calculation of the particle size and the particle dia. So we found that that will widen. You are clearly showing, this is the same image clearly showing that the filament structure of hollow cylindrical tubular filament structure of carbon fiber are widened due to the coating of conducting polymer over on it, and it will be increase of 50 to 60 nanometer. We have calculated the 100 nanometer are the particles, dia of this hollow tubular structure, and that will be 150 to 160 nanometer. When we do coating of the conducting polymer by simple chemical oxidative polymerization method, it will be increased. The next, third one, the graphene plus polythiophene. We introduce graphene in our composite to enhance the radar absorbing properties, to enhance the anti-static behavior of our material. So same thing, we found the dia will increase to up to 200 to 250 nanometer. So it is clearly showing that the three materials, the composition, when the three different elements are combined, the structure will be, the dia will be increasing in order. And in nanometer scale, sorry, in the nanometer scale, we are, for the calculation purpose, we are using this FESEM. These are the results that are showing the static decay time. The static charge is decay by our material 0.5 second by bare carbon foam, 0.4 second by polythiophene carbon foam composite, and when we introduce graphene, 0.2 second. Within 0.2 second, the static charge developed in our material, on the surface of my material, that will be destroyed, you can say, decayed by 0.2 second. So the application of these materials is that they will be used as a encasing of the electronic instrument for preventing or for safety from the static charge. Static charge develop when there is a relative motion, when there is a dissimilarity between the relative motion between the two surfaces. Whenever an aeroplane, you can say, do landing, you show a sparking on the tires of the aeroplane. Whenever it will landing, during the landing, that will be the static charge. It will be harmful when it will increase in order. And for this, we prepare anti-static coatings for carpets. Also, carpets are also available in, you can say, anti-static, and mostly the encasing of electronic instruments are nowadays anti-static coatings material are using. Same, these are the EMI shielding results of our materials. Basically, we are basically from WHO report, according to WHO report, World Health Organization, these electromagnetic waves are now electromagnetic pollution. These are the hazardous effects, you can say, adverse effect on the human health nowadays, we can say. These are the non-ionizing radiations, and now the researchers are trying to make sealed materials for electromagnetic waves. And the point of view for defense research, for the scientists are making materials that will be absorb all the radar waves, so that fighter plane, you can say, fighter jet plane will be invisible for the enemy radar. So we are targeting the absorption phenomena. Basically, electromagnetic EMI shielding, basically three concepts are there. Whenever waves are strike to the surface, the reflection, absorption, and the transmission. There are three phenomena occur. So we are targeting, if we are targeting absorption phenomena, so we are working on the stealth technology application for making a lightweight, we can say, invisible fighter jet planes for the point of view of defense research. So our material can also be used for EMI shielding purpose. Above 30 dB, we have results in the 12.4 to 18 gigahertz Ku band. Mostly the satellite communication band this is used, and we are working on this. And this is the, I already told, this is the mechanism that is showing the shielding mechanism. So we are using the SEM and the TEM, scanning electron microscope and transmit electron microscope, in our research work for calculating our particle size, their structure, if there is electronic source diffraction pattern, we also introduce, we can also calculate diffraction pattern of our material from SEM and the TEM also. And the composition of our material, we can, you can say, we can conclude, or we can say that our composite material is composed of the three different elements. We can say carbon fiber, polyethylene, graphene. That will be clearly, you can say, confirmed by the FESEM image. I already show you that the size of the and the dia of the filaments are increasing in order whenever one element is attached to that another element. We are making the composite structure. So the same, this is the same reflection and the transmission and absorption phenomenon occur whenever the rays strike on the surface of our composite material. And we propose that the following the application, this anti-static bags we can prepare by our this composite material, and thus for the mobile phones, or we can say in the internal circuits, we can provide a coating for the EMI shielding purpose. These are the results I'm showing that we are working on the several applications. The supercapacitor, we are also working on the energy storage devices. The same, now we are using bio-waste material. Now we are synthesize porous carbon. Bio-waste material, we are working on the bio-waste management also. So whatever we have, rice straw, you can say in the plenty we have. So coconut straw we have, you can say sugar cane straw we have. So all the carbon source. So we can synthesize the porous carbon. We use porous carbon and we calculate all our the composition structure in the research point of view on the nanoscale. We are for the confirmation of the synthesis of the our composite materials on nanoscale. We are using scanning electron microscope and transmission electron microscope that will confirm the formation of our you can say material that nanoscale. So this is the research paper we have recently published. This is the same I have that I will discuss in this presentation. This we have already published. Recently we have published these results in the Elsevier publication. There are some patent we have done. So thank you for your kind attention. If any questions you have, you can ask me. Hello.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
So any questions? So our group, research group, is working on a total of 5 applications. I want to tell all the participants: supercapacitors, radar absorbing materials for stealth technology, solar cells, urea biosensors, and the 5th applications we are working on hydrogen evolution reaction, hydrogen energy, you can say generation of hydrogen. So if anyone interested to work with us, you are all welcome. We have all the instruments, calculation instruments. So we are working on 5 or 6 applications. Different. We are preparing different composite materials, different materials, and for these application. And if any person, any participant is interested in these research work, so you are welcome to work with us.
sir, could you
Yes, sir.
Please tell me about VIT. Few words.
It's a VIT. Yes, a VIT University is established in 1984. 35 years old institutions, and now we have 35 35 undergraduate course we have. We have 24 postgraduate course, and we have PhD in every subject. And we are basically it started as an engineering institution. Now we have courses on all the subject. We have 15th ranking in all over Indian ranking. We have 15th in engineering, 16th in we have university, and overall our rank is 28. And we are in computer science engineering in the world level. This is the only university in India that is QS 4-star rating university. And on the world global level, from 450 to 500 ranking, we have computer science engineering. The same 401 to 450 up to ranking we have in electronics engineering subject. And the same chemistry and chemical engineering, we have 450 to 500 ranking in all over world. So according to subject ranking, we have this. So it is situated in Tamil Nadu state of our India. Vellore, it is 130 km away from Chennai, and same as 90 km away from Tirupati. The world famous temple is there, Tirupati Balaji, you already know.
Okay.
So this is the situation of our university.
Okay, sir. Okay. So there are some doubts.
Yes, sir.
Microscope is usable inside the online machine parts to analyze the insulation.
So, sir, again, can you repeat? Sorry, sir, I can actually. Can you repeat the question, sir?
Otherwise, the participants, could you?
Yeah.
If you have doubts, you please put on your microphone and ask the questions.
Yeah, I'm sharing my email address also. You can also email to me. I will send to you.
Mr. Kesava Prabhu, he is asking so many doubts.
Okay, sir.
can this microscope function through Faraday cage? Are you clear, sir?
Hello.
Are you clear?
No, some sound problem
Not
is
getting.
there.
So the
But
microscope,
I will stop
whether this microscope is usable inside the machine parts to analyze
Yeah.
the insulation.
Insulation, no. Basically, for the SAMP and the TAM, basically TAM, the material should be in conducting behavior, conducting form. I already told that scanning, it scan the surface. The scanning electron microscope, the electron beam scan the surface of our material for if the material is insulating in behavior.
Okay.
We have done a coating, gold coating on
Okay.
the insulating material, and then we will able to get the part size and the shape of that material structure.
And then any possibility of magnetic interference due to electromagnetism of coil?
Huh?
Any possibility of magnetic interference?
It's a magnetic interference.
Yeah. Due to electromagnetism of coil.
Electromagnetic coil.
Sir, you please check the
1 minute,
chat.
sir. I will check in my in box. In the box of I will escape this. Sorry, PPT mode. I escape the PPT mode.
Okay.
I will check. One question is there that yes, we can use as a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage is designed for reliable beam current measurements in an electron microscope image that is described. We can fitting is for different companies are there that are making electron microscope. Philips is there, JS is there. So finally we can use that. We can done modification in the. We can done the modification in our instrument. Electron microscope instrument. Different companies are there, and we also, you can say, electron diffraction pattern we also get now through TAM. Diffraction pattern we also calculate. You can say crystallographic structure we also calculate of our material. One more through
one more question.
1 minute. Yes, sir. I am sharing my email ID, sir. I will send all the details and the notes also. We have all Philips in our lab. We have 2 different companies electron microscope, Philips and one more JS.
Sir, one doubt is there.
Yes, sir.
Can we use any other reagent instead of polythiophene?
Yes. Polyaniline, polypyrrole. There are different conducting polymers available here. So we can also we have already done the studies on these. Now we are targeting the bio waste management nowadays. This is the topic for extensively research. We are making composites with this bio waste porous carbon with conducting polymers for a low cost synthesis. This is now become a low cost synthesis process, and we are making electrodes for supercapacitors. We are making electrodes for solar cells, and we have submitted a project in DST. We are making for a hybrid device, solar cell plus supercapacitor. Now 2022, our government is targeting electric vehicles. Up to 2022, we are targeting 20 to 25% that vehicle, that diesel and petrol vehicles transform into the electric vehicles. Our Indian government targeting. So recently, the 2 and 3 DST, Department of Science and Technology, released some new proposals I will share. You can. I will send the email if you want. I will share all the details of that project proposal. I have also. I have some contacts in DST, sir. So we are going to submit a proposal. You can also submit with a you can also submit if you are working in the same area, innovation area. This they are saying that innovation mission DST is saying this, and they are targeting that storage, power, transportation. There are 5 themes are there: power, storage, transportation. Second is construction, and fifth one is building. So they are targeting.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So if you need any information, any you can. I'm sharing my email, and you can also collaborate. You will do collaboration with us. We have all the our research center have all the instruments.
Okay, is it accessible for us? Your
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
climate signal?
Sir, actually, this present time, sir, I am the in charge, so it is accessible. So there is no issue. But this time, COVID, this time, maybe in August, in the last month, sorry, last week of August, we are planning to reopen our center. So we can, so that time you can contact me and
Sir, one more
I will.
question is there. Kindly
Yes.
brief the role of the secondary electron in microscopy.
Yeah. Yes, the secondary electrons.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, there is a inelastic electrons. Basically, whenever we are targeting, so as a result of that is inelastic interaction between the primary electron beam and the sample. The energy is lower down. That energy is lower down. So and that backscatter, I already told that backscattered electrons are responsible for making the beam. So that secondary electrons are useful there for increasing the energy level of that backscattered electrons, and we recollect that electrons on the our collector and we get the data. So that is why the second electrons that's useful for the inspection of the topography of the sample surface, and that will be mix up, that will increase the that energy level. That primary electrons lose their energy when they strike to the surface of our material.
Okay, okay, sir.
And
Sir,
then back,
Sir,
yes.
one more doubt is there from Rahul Kumar. Why we are giving much more focus for nano instead of pico?
Nano,
Yeah.
pico 10⁻⁻12, I think pico.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sir, basically we are this present time. I think
Yeah,
that the
Yeah,
instrument we
focus.
have available
Yeah.
that are for nanoscale,
Yeah,
electron
of course,
microscopy
of
and other
course.
instruments have ability to predict the size on nanoscale.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
So we have to work on, for pico we have to improve.
Much more improvement is needed.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, of course. And one more, sir, please brief on the equipment used to measure the anti-static property.
Anti-static, yeah, John Chubb instrument. We have, that is a UK-based company, United-based company, John Chubb, that making this. So what, there is a sample holder is there. We have a size of 13 centimeter into 7 centimeter. We have cut our carbon fiber that form in 13, that the size of the sample holder I am telling you. And we have a, first of all, we have a very large, we have introduced a very high corona voltage, that is 5,000 volt on the surface of our material, that form, whatever material we have prepared. And then after the we found we have sorry, screen is there in the instrument. We found that there is static charge development on the surface whenever we applied a high surface voltage, you can say high voltage on the surface of our material, there is a static charge development. Then at the 10% of voltage and 500 volt, we have reduced up to that, and then we calculate how much then we calculate the time period of the decaying, you can say you can say destroy of we want to destroy that static charge. So we have to calculate the time period, how much it will take time our surface of material that the developed charge will decay by that.
Okay, sir. So which type of material we can use in that for studying anti-static property? Whether it is used in powder form or film form?
Basically, it will be in you can say film form. Basically, film form.
Okay, okay.
If it is a powder, we have to be a coat. We have make a coating on.
Okay.
We should select a substrate.
Okay.
Here we select a substrate of carbon fiber.
Okay,
That
okay.
is mostly using for the encasing of our material. Very good in mechanical strength. Now carbon fiber is also using for making aeroplanes also, you can see.
Okay, sir. So what is the difference between topology and morphology?
Yeah. Yeah, shape and structure.
Yeah, of course.
Shape and structure, we are saying that.
Okay, okay. Then, sir, is there any specific application for the marine natural products?
Is there any application related to marine natural products? Yeah,
Yeah,
marine
yeah.
natural products from now in our research group, one of our research collaborators, sir, prepare porous carbon from fish gill.
Okay,
The
okay.
waste, marine waste, we can say, natural from fish gill, they prepare a porous carbon, and they use the same porous carbon electrode as a battery and as well as supercapacitor.
Okay, okay, okay.
So from the waste of that, can say, from marine waste, we are making the same porous carbon. And the porous carbon is good also in photocatalytic degradation of dye. We are also using for water purification purpose also.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, dear, please, participants, please, you can ask questions directly. Please. Please ask one by one, please.
टाइम की भीड़ होती ना उसमें एक ड्रॉप basically for time there is a you can say bid we have in the scientific form we call bid we prepare sorry grid time grid I'm saying that so there are two methods are there we can directly deposit that onto the tops of the time sample holder. All we can say all the metals and the metal oxides and alloys can be processed, can be used as a sample for the time. So for we have there is a you can say mostly we have used a volatile liquid in our case we have using some volatile liquid that will our sample is in powder form that will disperse ultrasonication we have done so that particle will be away from their each other proper dispersion after we have a there are two methods basically in our method we have take a drop on the from the grid we have taken one drop of our material and we put that drop on the time sample holder grid sample holder and through that we can see we can we take the images samples and the second one is there metallic you can say even nylon I'm telling the grid that are made from that sample holder grid of the time some of our mostly we have using nylon based form we can also there are also available nickel and gold also available for the act as a sample holder for the time or animal liquids can also be studies no issue is there So powder sample, we have a solvent. I already told that we are suspended powder sample in a solvent that are volatile solvent. Okay.